public comment?
Yeah.
We got suggestions for new print. Introduce them.
Whoever bringing them.
I got it.
Just have Sam do it.
Something, can you see if he's around?
Where are they? Good evening.
Tiki boy? You said, how you still pronounce this? Oh, Tikhonov. All right. Who's doing our prayer? Oh,
Mike Freeman.
Mike Freeman?
Yeah.
Meeting of Akron City Council will come to order. Clerk will read the roll.
Freeman, Buskow, Hoke, Kamer, Keith, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky.
For those who voluntarily wish to do so, will you please stand as we are led in the Pledge of Allegiance by, well, actually in prayer first, by Councilman Freeman, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Russ Neal. Oh, we do have someone to lead us in the prayer.
Oh, all right.
All right, and it's my cousin too, Gloria. All right, Miss Gloria.
Okay. I'm going to be reading from Proverbs 16, verses 2 through 9, as I lead us in prayer this evening. And it says, all a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. The Lord works out everything to its proper end, even the wicked for a day of disaster. The Lord detests all the proud of heart. Be sure of this, they will not go unpunished. Through love and faithfulness, sin is atoned for. Through the fear of the Lord, evil is avoided. When the Lord takes pleasure in anyone's way, he causes their enemies to make peace with them. Better a little with righteousness than much with injustice. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Father, we thank you for this time to come before you this evening, asking you to establish our steps. We thank you for the city of Akron and the council people and leaders of this city, Lord, that work together to make this city the great city we know it can be. Lord, as the meeting goes forth and the issues that are placed on the table, may they be discussed with the justice that comes from a loving God. Give us the ability to hear one another and make decisions and choices that are best for the all of good people. We thank you, Lord God, for your intervention in this city. We thank you, Lord God, for leading and guiding and directing, even as we place the issues on the table and work together for the best solutions to make this city run in an effective and productive way. And as we continue to work together as a people, Lord God, we know that you will measure the motives in our heart. May they be pure before a holy God. May we work together to show forth love, that this city can continue to grow and be all that we know it can be as we work together with the proper motives and the proper ability, Lord, to do what you've called us to do in this evening, at this meeting. We pray in the blessed name of your Son, Jesus, who is the Christ. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wait a minute. I gotta turn my phone off. Okay.
Clerk will read the minutes from our previously held meeting.
Meetings from March 12th, 2018. Council convened in regular session at 7 p.m. with President Somerville in the chair. Minutes of the previous regular meeting were read and approved. All members were present except Fusco, Neal, Amobian, and later excused. Reading of petitions and communications, passage of the consent agenda, report of standing and special committees, referral of new ordinances and resolutions, representation from various departments and divisions, public speaking period, motion by Swirsky to excuse Fusco, Neal, and Amobian, vote 9-0, Kamer abstained. No further business on a motion by Hope. Council adjourned at 7:38 p.m. to reconvene in regular session on March 19th or special call.
Motion to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes have it. And one abstention. Councilman Neal.
Okay.
Letters, petitions, and communications.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Petition of the Akron Metropolitan Housing Authority for a conditional use to construct the Harmon Court development on the north side of Vern Odom Boulevard, east of Superior Avenue.
File.
Petition of Sam and Cheryl Freitag for a conditional use to construct a detached garage 1 foot 6 inches from the property line at 98 North Rose Boulevard.
File.
Petition of Dwight Yoder for a conditional use to construct an apartment building at 2197 Eastwood Avenue.
File.
Petition of Aletha Harris Beasley for conditional use to establish a daycare business center at 340 Ira Avenue.
File.
Petition of Daniel Long for conditional use to establish a daycare center, a business center at 937 Dover Avenue.
File.
Correspondence from Dr. Michelle Reynolds of Nurser Incorporated, informing council that they have submitted an offer for a proposed community transitional housing program, CTHP, at 923 Delia Avenue.
File. Notice
of new D1 liquor permit to 818 LLC, 1800 Merriman Road.
Special attention, Councilwoman Keith.
Correspondence from Steve Nome regarding the retiree health insurance.
File. We have before us the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Roll call: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Okay.
We'll now move into our old agenda. Rules. Councilwoman Amobian. Time will be granted. Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
This simply is the resolution of City Council for the 2018 budget. We ask for its approval.
Okay. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Pardon me?
One opposed. Councilman Neal.
Okay. Roll call: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Okay. Next item.
Councilman Freeman.
The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
This would just be the logical follow-up from the resolution that we just passed concerning our 2018 budget.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Councilman Neal. Roll call.
Roll call: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Sample, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Okay.
Councilman Freeman.
Does the clerk need to read this in? This is there's an amendment.
Okay. It's a substitute. Ordinance amending and/or supplementing Title IX General Provisions, Chapter 104, Income Tax, in order to reflect changes in properly mandated by Ohio House Bill 49, reserving the right to continue litigating an ongoing challenge to House Bill number 49, recognizing that several provisions may be invalidated or stayed as a result of that challenge and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Committee's report's favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
We ask for its passage.
Very good. The rules have already been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky.
Planning, Councilman Fusco.
The request of the committee is time on item number 1.
Time will be granted.
The report of the committee is favorable, and we ask for suspension of the rules on item number 2.
Okay. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you, President Somerville. This is a conditional use to retain a solid fence at 1519 Preston Avenue. The ward person is in favor of this, as well as the planning department and the planning commission. So we recommend approval this evening.
Okay, thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage, Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Sample, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky.
Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thanks. The report on the committee for item number 3 is favorable, and we ask for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, thank you. This is changing the name of Greenspire Lane to Greenspire Circle. Apparently, there's a lane of the same name very close by this particular location, but in a different city. So I know the Ward Council Representative Marilyn Keith is in favor of this as well, so we're asking for approval this evening.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage, Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Sample, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky.
Councilman Fusco?
Yes, thank you. The report of the committee is to file item number 4.
Item number 4 will be filed.
Time on item number 5 and 6. Yeah, time on the balance of the agenda.
Time will be granted.
Okay. New legislation. Yeah, is somebody here to introduce them?
We do have some special guests here with us in the audience, and so we're going to take some things just out of order for a moment. And please apologize if I mispronounce your name. I'm going to try really hard. Ilya Tikhonov? Wonderful, and he is the facilitator for Open World Delegation from Ukraine. So welcome, and if you would like to approach and introduce who you have with you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here with the Open World program. It's a Library of Congress sponsored program for former Soviet countries, and these wonderful people are here to meet their U.S. counterparts in NGOs and social enterprises. And this is Mikhailo Tkach, Marina Honcharova, Natalia Kritovich, Olga Lovinovska, and Volodymyr Belouz. And yeah, I would like to thank the council for having us tonight, and this city of Akron for truly being a welcoming city. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Councilman Fusco?
Yeah, thank you. We had dinner here just a few minutes ago with our friends here at the local Akron Family Restaurant everyone knows. And we talked about the business, Global Business Accelerator, now known as Bounce. We also talked about the welcoming city concept and had a great exchange and appreciate that. I can tell you that the county council executive, County Executive Eileen Shapiro was there as well. So it was a nice exchange, and we welcome you to our city. And they're going to be here for a couple more days. So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Horgan?
Got a new button up here. Well, listen, welcome to the city of Akron. We hope you find your exchange as fruitful as the travel over, and we appreciate you coming over to be able to, I think we can all learn from each other a little bit and how we operate, especially when it comes to the social service and NGO atmosphere. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And again, welcome to Akron. So glad you're here with us on this evening. Council, we're now going to move into our new legislation. Budget and Finance.
Okay, item number 1 was read in as a substitute. We'll move on to number 2. Number 2, ordinance authorizing the purchasing agent without the formality of public advertising for bids to enter into a contract or contracts with engaged public for the purchase of a 1-year subscription to Balancing Act Pro taxpayer receipt and meeting mode software services for for use by the city council and the residents of the city and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman?
I'd like to poll the committee to refer this item. Mr. Milkovich? Yes. Mr. Hoke? Ms. Amobian? And myself, yay.
Okay, this item will be referred.
Okay. Item number 3, offered by Mr. Kamer, resolution declaring it necessary to improve certain streets between certain termini of the 2018 Phase 1, 2, and 3 unimproved street resurfacing program by treating the surface thereof with substances designed to preserve the surface and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules, please.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you. This is just to move forward with our 2018 unimproved street resurfacing program.
Very good. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Item number 4, offered by Kamer, resolution declaring it necessary to improve certain streets by certain termini of the 2018 Phase 1, 2, and 3 of the arterial collectors resurfacing program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete 402 and 404 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. The committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules again.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you. This goes with the first piece, obviously moving forward with our 2018 arterial and collector resurfacing program.
The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Item number 5, offered by Kamer, ordinance declaring the necessity of determining to proceed with and levying special assessments for the improvement of certain streets in the city by constructing, reconstructing, repairing concrete sidewalks, driveway approaches, curbs, retaining walls, and installing roof drain pipes, all in accordance with the petition submitted by the property owners under the 2017 City Sidewalk Program and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is to place this item on consent agenda, please.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 6, offered by Kamer, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service, after publicly advertising for bids, to enter into a contract or contracts for the construction of city sidewalks 2018 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is to place this item on consent agenda, please.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Okay. Item number 7, offered by Kamer, resolution declaring it necessary to improve certain streets between certain termini of the 2018 Phase 1, 2, and 3 residential resurfacing program by resurfacing such streets with asphaltic concrete 402 to 404 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
All right, this is our last piece moving forward with our 2018 residential resurfacing program.
Right.
And we do have a lot of streets this year, and if any council member hasn't received the streets in their ward or citywide, please reach out to John Moore. Thanks.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage: Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Item number 8, offered by Kamer and Samples, ordinance authorizing Director of Public Service, after publicly advertising for bids, to enter into a contract or contracts for the construction of the Kelly CSO Rack Number 3 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is to place this item on the consent agenda, please. Thanks.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 9, offered by Mr. Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for and enter into an agreement for funding through the Road to Zero initiative administered by the National Safety Council to secure funding for overtime and to purchase speed enforcement equipment and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
Thank you. Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
All right, thank you. If awarded, this just has a boatload of goodies to protect our citizens here in Akron. Thanks.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage. Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Item number 10, offered by Mr. Kamer. Ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for and enter into an agreement for funding for the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation to be utilized in the purchase of 40 ballistic helmets to outfit each member of the Akron Police Department's SWAT team and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer?
All right, thank you. Committee's report is to place this item on consent agenda, please. Thank you.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Okay, 1 second here. All right, item number 10A, ordinance amending and or supplementing Title 13 General Offenses, Chapter 130 General Provisions, Section 130.02 Definitions, and Title 13 General Offenses, Chapter 139 Miscellaneous, Section 139.09 Illegal Distribution of Cigarettes and Other Tobacco Products of the codified ordinances of the City of Akron to prohibit the sale of cigarettes, other tobacco products, and tobacco product paraphernalia to individuals under the age of 21, authorizing a contract with Summit County Combined General Health District to implement these provisions through regulations and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Amobian?
Yes, Madam President, the committee is desiring to take time on this issue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Time will be granted.
Item number 11, offered by Mr. Swirsky, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service through the Office of the Purchasing Agent without the formality of advertising for bids to enter into a contract with Summit Soil and Water Conservation District for the Akron Waterways Renewed Rain Barrel Program and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Swirsky?
This ordinance would provide rain barrels and training to assist citizens in getting involved with the Akron Waterways Renewal Program. The committee's report was favorable, and we ask for suspension of the rules.
Very good. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended. Councilman Swirsky already gave his comments and remarks. Committee's report is favorable. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call and final passage. Freeman, Fusco, Hope, Kamer, Kilby, Milkovich, Neal, Amobian, Samples, Sims, Somerville, Swirsky. Okay.
We will now go to the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period. If you wish to speak to this council during this time, you may approach the podium. Please sign in, then state your full name, spell your last name, and give us your address. You will have 3 minutes to speak to this body. Speakers are reminded that this is an official meeting. Remarks should be kept respectful and germane to council business. Speakers should refrain from making any personal attacks. Anyone who breaches the decorum will be ruled out of order and may be removed from council chambers. Is there anyone here on tonight that would like to speak during our public comment period? You may approach the podium.
That's the Isingers. Their son, Todd.
Thank you for this opportunity to talk. Oh. I just had another birthday, sorry. Thank you for this opportunity to talk tonight about World Down Syndrome Day. I was actually here.
Before you start, can you just please give us your
sorry.
name?
I
we'll know
signed
who you
in,
are.
I forgot, sorry. Deborah Isinger, and my son Todd Isinger is also going to speak. We live at 29 North Wheaton Road in Akron in Ward 8. We've got a great councilwoman there. And anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So thank you for this opportunity to talk about World Down Syndrome Day. The significance of the 21st day of the third month, March, being chosen as World Down Syndrome Day is because Down syndrome is actually identified as trisomy 21. Most of you know that the nucleus of each cell carries 23 pairs of chromosomes, but Down syndrome occurs when on the 21st chromosome there's an extra copy. So their chromosomes look like this instead of like this. It has been celebrated in many countries since 2006 and was recognized by the United Nations on December 19, 2011 to raise public awareness of Down syndrome. The preferred usage in the United States is Down syndrome, not Downs syndrome, because the apostrophe implies ownership, and the doctor who accurately described the condition in 1866, Dr. John Langdon Down, did not have it. Thankfully, due to advances in medical technology, individuals with Down syndrome are living longer than ever before. When Todd was born in 1982, life expectancy was 25. How old are you, Todd? 35. Now the life expectancy is over 60. Isn't that a blessing? We are here today to share with you what Todd brings to his community, our community here in Akron.
Good evening. My name is Todd, and I attended Akron Public School.
I know it, Mom.
Sorry. Including Firestone High School, where I lettered 4 years of swim. I am also on Hall of Fame there. I have much to offer our community when given the chance. So I ask all of you to work for the rights of people with Down syndrome to reach their full potential here in Akron. Thank you.
Todd is president of his own inspirational card company and a part of the eBay retail revival here in Akron. So we want to thank you for that opportunity. One way Todd would like to demonstrate his ability instead of his disability is by sharing a riddle with you. So you're on, Todd. By the way, the reason he's doing the riddle is there's a Stand Up for Downs is a foundation started by a family in Northeast Ohio who has a young son with Down syndrome, and the father is a comedian. And so he has auditioned a group of people with Down syndrome. He's going to start an improv comedy group with people with just Down syndrome. They'll be putting together a show probably the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So that's why Todd's been working on this riddle.
Okay. What starts with E, ends with E, and has only one letter in it?
Anybody know? Show 'em.
Envelope.
Okay, have a seat.
Isaac.
Oh, Isaac.
We'd like to leave you with a small gift to enjoy in honor of World Down Syndrome Day. And also, any of you that are familiar with the Melt restaurants, they're offering a 20% total of your check, whether it's alcohol, takeout, or anything, on Wednesday, which is World Down Syndrome Day. And so I have a bunch of flyers here. You have to have your flyer with you. They'll staple it to your check. But if anybody needs any more copies, you can go to the upside of Downs and print out more copies. And so the little gift we have for you is Todd's business card and a little keychain.
That's my business card.
Yeah. To carry your keys. And 21 M&Ms in the colors of blue and yellow, which represent Down syndrome. So just something to celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Eisenher and Todd. You did a fabulous job, and thank you for all that you were doing for our community here in the city of Akron.
My name is Wanda Eason, E-A-S-O-N. I've been doing that all day. My complaint is there is a serious need of cleanup on Raymond Street. It's just oodles of paper and empty lots. I don't know if they're owned by owners or the city lots. The trash is just getting piled up, and most of it is from blowing from other things. A truck came by on Verdum Odom. I guess it had a lot of paper or whatever, and the paper's just all over the place. They cleaned up some of it, but there's some lots on Raymond Street needs emergency cleanup. If we could get that done. We already dealing with rodents. Digging holes up under the porches and stuff, you know. But anyway, it's a concern for me, and the people in the community would like to see if it can get cleaned up or some kind of solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Eason.
Good evening. I'm Judy Hill, President of the Akron NAACP, 230 West Center Street in Akron. I'm here to just give 3 brief announcements. First of all, the NAACP is committed to increasing voter turnout in all of the voter registration in all areas. And 2, to work to build national, state, and local coalition of organizations and leaders who share our common vision and goal. I want to share a couple things with you tonight. One, we are all very familiar with what's going on with the gun violence in our country. On March 24th, the kids and families of March for Our Lives will take the streets of Washington, D.C., and will demand that their lives and safety become a priority. I know this organization has taken a stance on it, and I want you to know that there are students who are out there as well as the NAACP supporting them. We are going to be taking a busload of students and chaperones, along with now a van. I've been kicked off to allow room for students because we think it's important that our kids understand that there's a bigger issue and they need to be a part of something bigger than themselves. I want to thank the council members and the individuals in this room who are supporting this initiative and who are also praying for our youth as they travel to Washington, D.C. And as I was reminded, that there are students who will be marching locally at Highland Square to the federal building on Saturday as well. So please keep them in mind, and I hope that you will come out and support them. Also, the NAACP, in conjunction with the Akron Press Club, the League of Women Voter, and the Ray C. Bliss Institute will be holding a redistricting and gerrymandering forum Wednesday, busy day, at the public library from 6 to 8:30, or 6 to 7:30, excuse me. The whole goal is to look at the issue from a national and a local perspective and what we need to be aware of. And so, A, I want to make sure that we all have the information, and B, support because it will impact the Akron area as well as voters. And last but not least, the NAACPs of Northeast Ohio will be conducting a forum with all of the gubernatorial candidates and their running mates. We think it's important that people understand before the election who the candidates are and what they stand for. So we have come together to hold this forum. It will be held at East High School. Hold on a second, let me get my correct date, because I'm good to change it. On Saturday, April 14th, the Republican as well as the Democratic candidates have been invited, and the majority of them have confirmed. I think it's important as elected officials that you are made aware of and invited to, because this is our city, and I think it's important for us to be there and to support what is going on in our state, and then to ask questions. So this event is free and open to the public. It will be Saturday, April 14th at 11 a.m. at East High School. And again, it is for us to allow the Democratic and Republican candidates for governor and lieutenant governor to share their opportunity to present their platform for the state when it comes to economic stability, health equity for our region, and educational success, as well as the law enforcement issues that we've talked about earlier. There's a press release that went out. If you have any questions, I'm available to answer locally. But we are excited that this is something we don't want Northeast Ohio to be left out of the equation. We want all of our folks to recognize who the candidates are and then to vote accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy Hill.
My name is Steve Nome, N-O-M-E. Live at 1928 6th Street, Cuyahoga Falls. I did send out an email on Saturday, basically because last time my 3 minutes went faster than my mouth, so I didn't get everything in. So this is everything I get in if I don't get it in. If you did not get a copy, I brought extra copies if you needed a copy. There's people in the audience here. Raise their hand.
Mr. Nome, I'm just going to ask that you
I know. Well,
your comments to me.
I kind of pressed them in advance. I says, raise your hand when I come up here. So there's people there that, but basically, real quick, the city offered insurance at no cost through 2016. They passed an ordinance, say we had to pay a cost. We were okay with that. When the OPERS aspect, which is very expensive, came in, then that created a problem. But the city put it on hold for 2017, which we appreciated, and the council was going to review the whole situation, but did not get around to it. The Blue Ribbon Task Force pinpointed legacy costs as a concern the city needed to address, but they didn't say drop the spouses. They just said address the legacy costs. I've been unable to get the cost of what it was to provide insurance coverages to spouses under 65 and their dependents. So if you don't know what it costs to insure these people, you can't know how much you're saving. Because the city hasn't done anything, a retiree filed a lawsuit, and pretrial has been set for March 26th. I know because of the lawsuit things can't be discussed, but that's how that sets. And it's been said that OPERS is a villain in this situation, but it's the city that says we have to have OPERS. OPERS doesn't care if we have them or not. And I'm here tonight. I've been here before. I'll be here again until we get a clear understanding of what made this happen. I need to know, how did the city reach this conclusion to exclude spouses? What is the cost of providing spouse and independent insurance coverage, and it's spouses under the age of 65? And then how many spouses under 65 were covered in 2016 when you didn't pay anything? how many were covered in 2017 when you paid a small amount. I know that in 2018, 29 spouses have gotten OPERS coverage. Now, those 29 spouses in 2017 would have paid a little over $10,000 per year of insurance. This year, they're going to pay $414,000 for their insurance. It seems to me that the city's been less than forthcoming in dealing with the handling of the retiree insurance coverage, and council may not have been provided with the information it needed to make decisions for the good of the retirees and the city as a whole. So I'm asking that council review this situation and determine whether a solution can be reached which will provide retirees or spouses under 65 and the dependents with quality, affordable health insurance that we had in the past.
Your time is up, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. No.
My wife's.
Good evening. Good evening. Pastor Harrison, Gregory Harrison, 670 Vernon Northern Boulevard. I wanted to speak about meetings, and I wanted to make sure that we all know what a public meeting constitutes. I was told that I wasn't asked to leave a meeting, and the meeting itself was not important to me, because certainly if the council is coming together for the betterment of council, and it's more productive for me or anyone not to be there, then we have to make that personal decision. But the inference this afternoon was, it was not a public meeting. The public was not invited. That was my takeaway. I apologize if I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong, because I counted 7 members in that meeting. And 7 members constitutes a public meeting. Whether a notice goes out, you can't say, well, we're not going to discuss city business, so this is not a public meeting. The inference was, this wasn't a public meeting, and public was not invited. It was a public meeting. So, again, the subject matter of the meeting was irrelevant to me, but I think it's dangerous to have a public meeting and not call it a public meeting because it may be uncomfortable to have the public there. A public meeting is a public meeting, and the public should have the option to attend a public meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Harrison. Is there anyone else here to speak during our public comment period?
My name is Deborah McClendon, M-C-C-L-E-N-D-O-N.
You want to pull that microphone a little bit down? There you go.
I live at 2055 Basswood Avenue. I'm here regarding medical insurance for retiree spouses. I took the buyout and retired in 2009. At that time, the city told us they would be our spouse's primary insurance. That was a deciding factor for my retirement. We need the new requirement for our spouses to be covered under OPERS insurance removed. Some of our spouses have chronic illnesses and need continued good coverage and care. They also need availability to the doctors they know and trust that have been taking care of them through the years. The cost of OPERS medical insurance is not affordable, and it will likely increase year after year. We are asking you to treat us the way you would want to be treated if you were in our situation. We are your people. We are the people that live in your wards. We are the people who supported you and voted for you. Now we are asking for your support. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here to speak during the public comment period? Seeing none, we will close our public comment period, and we will go into our committee meetings. Rules, Councilwoman Amobian. Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman. Planning, Councilman Fusco. Public Service, Councilman Kamer. Public Utilities, Councilwoman Samples. Public Safety, Councilman Kamer. Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal. Housing, Councilman Kilby. Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian. Economic Development, Councilwoman Sims. Green Committee, Councilman Swirsky.
1 o'clock.
Thank you. Is there anything else coming before this body? There's a motion. Is there a second? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Councilman Neal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to stand and share some information. As you know, some of us went to the league, the National League of Cities last week, and it was interesting to see that some of the things we've discussed on this floor are concerned nationally. We all know that 2020 will be the year of the census. But we also know that we're challenged with that census because of the present conditions in this nation dealing with ISIS and the immigrant population and the fear that has been created amongst folks and trust in our government. It is going to be imperative that we as a community come together and share information about how this census is important to our city and this region. We talk about the political things that take place with gerrymandering. If our numbers don't show up, some things will happen just by the natural process. We know that CDBG funds are under attack. Well, even if they're saved, if our numbers don't show up, we will lose millions of dollars. So it's going to be crucial for us as a community to reach out, especially to those of our partners that work with the immigrant population, to establish relationships so that we can get the word out. And not just our immigrant population. I mean, we know that there are a major portion of people in our community who are on public assistance because of financial situations. Many of them do not fill out the census because they feel that their public assistance will be infringed upon. It is going to be crucial that we do not wait for anybody else to put together a plan. As a city, we need to put together a plan. Our mayor spoke about the importance of partnerships. We're going to have to forge those partnerships in regards to this census so that we can save and maximize the dollars that we can get as a region by having our numbers counted accurately. There is a push to have the citizenship box on the census removed because that is not a part of the census, but we know that that will deter a lot of folks from filling it out. So more information will be coming, but I know we're trying to get a time where we can meet as council, but it's going to be imperative, since we're the ground troops, that we put together a plan on how to work with our neighbors and our community and work with the administration and all the other community partners so that we can get these dollars. So just wanted to share that, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Neal. Anything else coming before council?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor?